Hello there, welcome to this video. We are journeying with functional skills. We're supporting you all the way. Let's jump in and see this journey. So it's quite a long journey. There's a lot of things along the way, but we're going to support you and we want you to be fully informed so it's not a surprise as we journey with you. So before you even get involved as an education specialist, we have already begun asking clients some questions. We've asked them exam details. For example, which exams are the student entered for, exam boards, qualifications, all these details, any teaching and revision materials that we have access to, when are any mock tests happening, what's the student's usual way of working, what exam arrangement, access arrangements need to be in place for the student in case they need extra time, for example. Of course, not all clients give us these answers. They may not know, or it might be too early in the year, or other reasons as well. But we do try. Then this information will be made available to you via the IEEP document. So our IEEP assessors will have gleaned as much information from various sources as possible. And so in the IEEP document, you'll find details from all available sources, the most up-to-date information at that time. There'll be links to qualifications and additional resources and suggested things to do and use to help your student along the way. So please do use that information in the IEEP document. So now you've become involved and you are coming into this provision. So where should you start as the education specialist? Well, the first port of call is the Fresh Start in Education Resources Hub. Here you'll find guides, curriculum plans, teaching resources, exam materials, all sorts of good stuff, and it's growing all the time. You'll see a screenshot there on the right-hand side. Items are branched into subject levels just to help you find the information more quickly and easily. You should have already access to the hub, but if you can't for some reason access it, please get in touch with your education coordinator. So that's the Resources Hub. We'll be mentioning that later on as well. We would also strongly suggest that you yourself get skilled up. If you're teaching functional skills, you want to be secure and confident delivering it. So we would ask you to log into your own skills assessment account. Now, details of these should have been sent to you via email, but if you haven't received this for any reason, just get in touch with your education coordinator who will give you the details. You're then going to work through one of the one assessments, which covers maths and English in one single assessment, hence its name. And that will help you identify any weak areas in your own understanding of either the maths or English or both courses that you're then going to be delivering. So that's going to help you be confident, and so you can familiarize yourself with the available teaching and learning resources that will be accessible for you to help your student and also for the student to use when they've done their own one assessment. So please, do get yourself skilled up. And if you need any support, of course, you know where we are. Get in touch. Okay, over to the student now. There's an assessment ahead. Here they come. So we want to get a student baseline assessment from as early as possible in the provision. So you're going to hopefully support your student through the one assessment that we just mentioned on the previous slide, which assesses math and English together in one. It's about 30 minutes assessment. Then, once they've completed that assessment, the one assessment splits into two separate assessments, one for maths, one for English. These are approximately 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the level, and of course, depending on the student's answers. Then you'll see a screenshot there on the right, all the colors. They will receive an individual skills plan, or ISP for short, which identifies the areas of strength that they have and also the weaker areas that need to be strengthened. You can also follow this all in the guide, which we've produced as a quick guide to using the skills assessment platform. It's a full-on guide with screenshots. It's step-by-step, very straightforward. That's accessible in the Resources Hub. Okay, so we've mentioned teaching and learning resources. Well, where are they? Well, you can use the learning resources which are already incorporated and part of the skills assessment platform. Once the student has done their full diagnostic assessments, then they will receive an ISP, individual skills plan, and then the system, the platform, will automatically lead them into the teaching and learning resources to improve their areas that they need to learn more in. You can also find additional supportive and complementary teaching resources in the Resources Hub. These are created specifically by NCFE, which is the exam or awarding body through which we do the functional skills qualifications. In here, you can refer to, you can adapt the schemes of work and also the session plans, and all the resources are adaptable. They are Word documents or they're PowerPoint presentations, things like that, that you can easily make bespoke and personalized to your student to help them engage with the work. And of course, we don't just expect you to use these materials. You can use your own. You're coming and bringing a wealth of your own understanding and experience. So please bring that along as well and provide the student with the best learning experience they possibly can get. Now, for some students, they're going to need some reasonable adjustments and or access arrangements so they can achieve their best. So these reasonable adjustments must reflect their normal way of working, and they should be implemented over a sustained period. Okay. Now, details of any access arrangements might be found in the IEEP document. They could also be found in the student's EHC plan, which of course we will then do our best to incorporate into the IEEP document. Subsequent to the IEP document being created, you might find out, or we might find out from the client or the examiners officer at the school that the student was part of, that this student is entitled to additional reasonable adjustments or access arrangements for exams. So please do discuss this with your education coordinator. You can also find, though, a full list of the available arrangements, access arrangements and reasonable adjustments available in the Resources Hub. You'll see the document there, the screenshot there. You can find that in the Resources Hub. Okay, closer to the exams, of course, we need to work out, well, which assessment method is most suitable for this student. Thankfully, with functional skills, there's a bit of flexibility. For maths and English, at entry levels, that's entry 1, entry 2, entry 3, all exams are paper-based. At levels 1 and level 2, exams can be either computer-based or paper-based. So there's a bit of flexibility. For English, there's the Speaking, Listening, and Communicating exam, the SLC exam. All of these will take place online. We do those online and we use Microsoft Teams for that. And then for those doing the digital functional skills qualification, all those exams are computer-based because it's a computer-based exam. That makes sense. So the which assessment methods, they can be discussed as you go along. But we're nearing the exams now. You can see on our journey, we're about approximately 8 weeks to go until what we think are the exam dates. So we're going to ask you to start using sample and past papers. Now, we'd strongly recommend you use the NCFE sample and past exam papers because that's the exam body that we're with. So you can find all of these, plus the mark schemes, and also really useful chief examiner reports in the Resources Hub. Also for online assessments, that you can use these sample online assessments. These are for level 1 and level 2 only, but also for the digital functional skills, which is entry 3 and level 1. But of course, because they're computer-based, there are sample online assessments for them. And then increasingly, you're going to be helping your student practice under exam conditions, helping them to prepare for the real thing. So mock exams, they're going to come up at some point. This is about 6 weeks before their real exam. So complete at least one mock exam in each component. The teaching and learning team can post out a paper to complete. And yeah, we'd ask you to complete it around 6 weeks before their real live exam date. Of course, if we're not sure when that date is, because functional skills are flexible, then that can be adjusted. Just chat with the your education coordinator or somebody from the teaching and learning team just to qualify that. You would then post the completed mock paper or papers to the Fresh Start office, and that we would mark them and we'd give a full score and feedback back so you can help your student prepare and just work on any areas that they didn't do so well in so they are better for next time. So yeah, you would support your student to develop those areas, and then if we need to do another mock exam just to help, then that's absolutely fine. Okay. Around the same time then, we're 6 weeks to go-ish, we're looking for the exam venue. Where is it going to take place? Well, exams must, of course, take place in a separate, controlled, warm, well-lit room away from noise and interference and distractions. So now we can normally hold exams in the same venue as where sessions are taking place, but not always, as you can possibly understand. So sometimes we might need to hire a different or private room, and this, of course, needs to be discussed and organised together with your education coordinator. So do bear that in mind as we're nearing those exams. Okay, around 4 weeks to go. For those doing the English functional skills, there is the speaking, listening, and communicating component. Each level has its own requirements. And so please do check out the guidance and also these flowcharts that we've put together to help, available for each level. These are in the Resources Hub. All students must complete at least one mock SLC exam before the real exam. This is just to get them ready for it and to understand how the flow works during the actual exam. And remember, all speaking and listening exams are conducted online via Microsoft Teams. Okay, we're getting ever closer to that special exam date. So we need you to be preparing your student or students for exam conditions and getting them ready for the final thing. So your student and you will certainly have questions about exam day. Do speak with your education coordinator leading up to that. Don't leave it to the last minute. Feel free to ask as you go. But also we need you to be preparing your student for exam conditions so they understand, well, what's expected of them. So please do see and use this document here, the exam preparations checklist document, which again is available in the Resources Hub. Again, if you have any questions about any aspect of the exam, don't hesitate to get in touch. We want you to understand so that your student is confident too. Okay, exam days are upon us. As you'll know, there are different components to functional skills. There's the maths, obviously, but then there's the writing, the reading, the speaking and listening, and these can take place in any order. So do bear that in mind. Decide which order works best for your student, and discuss and agree this with your education coordinator beforehand, who will also discuss with the teaching and learning team. All exams must take place under exam conditions, and for most exams, without the not including the speaking and listening, an invigilator will be present at all the exams. Okay. So yeah, plan and support your student to be ready for their special day or days. So after those days, we really hope that they've done well. Their results and possibly resits are coming. So results are normally take at least 2 weeks to be made available, but results from speaking and listening exams are normally quicker. If your student failed or one or more components, you'll need to support your student to strengthen any issues that they had. You'll need to prepare them for their new resets, and these reset dates can be organized by your education coordinator. If your student passes their exams, fantastic, celebrate, of course, and we will post their certificate or certificates directly to their home address. Okay, so we come to the final slide. We hope the journey runs as smoothly as possible. And of course, if you require any advice or support, you're not quite sure, we'd rather you ask us, let us know, contact your education coordinator, contact the teaching and learning team, get in touch with us. But thank you most of all for making this journey possible. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to helping you soon.